Hi, I'm Hillary.
And I'm Brenda.
And we work here at RCAL, the Resource Center for Accessible Living in Ulster County, New York.
So Hillary, I was wondering, COVID has affected us all in so many ways. All of our services at RCAL have been affected. I'm just wondering, job coaching during COVID, what have you had to do differently with your staff to keep them safe during this time and enable them to continue to job coach individuals who need their support?
That is a great question, Brenda. Like many of you who worked through COVID, sometimes you could transition to home and sometimes you still had to work out in the field. We support a lot of individuals who continued to work through COVID, whether it was in a retail setting, a healthcare setting, or another essential service. Our job coaches didn't stop working just because of COVID. However, people still need to stay safe. Lives are important and they come before anything else. So even though staff were out in the field, we always stayed 6 feet apart, kept our masks on through every interaction, and made sure that whenever possible, additional supports that needed to be done off-site were done via Zoom or other safe telehealth methods.
Oh, Hillary, that's terrific. Now, so let me ask this. If you're job coaching someone in retail, is it possible to stay 6 feet from that person?
So Brenda, the really nice thing is, yes, it really is possible. Job coaches are trained on a variety of skills and methods to help people be as independent as possible on their job. So sometimes modeling a task is really important, but sometimes there's ways around modeling and reinforcing the skills people need to stay employed that still help and stay socially distanced.
That's interesting. Your staff must be so appreciative of having the correct trainings, having been kept safe. And then the individuals must be overwhelmed that they didn't lose their job coach during this time period.
So yes, I'm happy to report that most of our individuals were able to return to work after some of the pandemic precautions put out by New York State were lifted. And we are happy to report that those who were not able to return to their job that they had pre-pandemic, most people have been reemployed in a new job. As you know, there's a labor shortage right now. And so thankfully for most people who are job seekers receiving our supports and services have been able to find either continued employment or new employment now that businesses have reopened. And while COVID is still a threat, we're staying safe and keeping people employed and in jobs.
Oh, that's terrific to hear. So do you feel that the guidance that came down from OPWDD as far as what you could do in the community with individuals was helpful?
It sure was, Brenda. OPWDD made the decision that it was important to keep people engaged in employment services. So people who were furloughed or lost their job because of COVID were allowed to continue with OPWDD's supported employment services through ETP COVID-19 discovery, meaning that they could receive telehealth services to complete a discovery, which is like a career development report. So this way, when the pandemic ended and people were returning to work and businesses were rehiring, everyone had a plan of what they were going to do, jobs that they could find, and in addition, OPWDD had a return to work hiring incentive that was available to people who had lost their jobs because of COVID. Maybe this was a person who needed a little extra support and couldn't necessarily compete in the competitive job market. So OPWDD agreed to pay their wages so they could go into a business and get the time that they needed to be trained so they could be competitively employed in that business before the business would be required to pay their wages. It was a really great opportunity for people who needed to get back to work and had some really great skills to offer to employers.
So Hillary, I have two questions. You have staff then who can do the full discovery process?
Absolutely, Brenda.
Okay. And my next question is, what is ETP?
That's a great question. ETP is the Employee Training Program, and we'll cover that in another video.
Thank you, Hillary.
But we'll put this information on how to stay safe and keep your job during COVID at the end of this video with some helpful hints in a slide.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.